Thank you. Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel. I'm Michael, and as you saw in that first little bit of the clip, spicy jalapeno is no more. This particular video isn't meant to be a vlog or anything like that, but it's kind of turning out that way. And basically, what the whole video is about is learning when to let go of a project. As you can see, my projects are looking a little forlorn. The Boxster has a dead battery from sitting, which is strange because I actually drove it maybe a couple of months ago and had to take it out of the garage to take the hardtop off of it because it sold the hardtop. But yeah, it just sits. Ever since we moved, it's just sat in the garage and been neglected. I didn't even get an annual tech sticker this year on it for anything. So yeah, it's just not going anywhere. The poor 944 also hasn't moved at all. Dragon Slayer has been sitting here so long, the tires are going flat. So yeah, and then the S4, well, you can see it's kind of filthy. It's been getting nothing but miles on it. So I haven't pulled the parts out of the car. The garage still isn't done. It's just a mess. And what does that have to do with the spicy jalapeno or Cayenne S or anything else? Well, basically, it comes down to sometimes you just have to know when it's okay to pull the plug. Those that have been around the channel since the very beginning know that I've had this kind of romantic obsession with overlanding and doing some great big 4x4 adventure. The channel actually started with my my OJ Bronco, the white and blue Bronco. Had that one for a couple of years and kind of did some snow stuff and some mud stuff, but never really took it on an adventure. I don't even think I put 1,000 miles on that thing in all honesty in 2 years. And so I sold it. And then I immediately got the Range Rover, the Roverlander, right? The P38. And again, had it for a couple of years, drove it like a couple of times, didn't even put 500 miles on that one, and sold it. And then I bought the Cayenne, and that one we did put miles on. That's the one thing I will say. I think when I added it up, it was about 18,000 miles over the course of the last 14 months. We drove it to the top of Mount St. Helens in the snow. We drove it out to the Oregon coast and literally drove it on the beach and splashed in the water. Took it out on a bunch of 2-tracks up in Toutle and went in some dirt and some gravel and some mud and drove it up to LeMay America's Car Museum for the opening of their Porsche exhibit with our friends. So, I mean, actually did adventures in that for the first time ever. But still, really what it was a daily driver that had like 3 or 4 times where it actually left pavement. And, when you're doing 12 miles to the gallon at $5 a gallon for premium gas, that's a lot of money, plus insurance, tags, all that. And then here in our state, they add an extra tax onto your license plate if the thing is heavy. And even though it wasn't 6,000 pounds, they taxed it as 6,000 pounds. And so, yeah, the registration was just dumb on it. It was a lot of expense, right? So you've got all the money tied up in the car. You've got all the money tied up in maintaining the car. You've got all the money tied up in gas and insurance and tags. And to really not use it, most of those miles were fronted. We put it on like when we first got it, like kind of all within that first 6 to 8 months. And then it sat. It was actually at the dealership for 2 whole months getting the recall done. We got it back, drove it a bunch more, had some more things break on it, and it was a project. That car was a project car. But so is this one, and that one, and that one. So 4 project cars is probably too many for me based on the amount of neglect they have. Now, obviously, my situation isn't the same as everybody's situation. You might only have 1 project car, 2 project car, 10 project cars. Who knows? The point of the matter is, when you sit there and you think about it, there's something called opportunity cost. And those that have business background know exactly what I'm talking about. An opportunity cost is what you could be doing with the money or the object that you have if you didn't have it, right? So if I've got $15,000 locked up in a car, and I'm not enjoying $15,000 worth of enjoyment out of it because I'd rather have something else, then my opportunity cost is I'm losing out on that other car. If you have too many cars, which is the situation I found myself in, it wasn't that there was another car I would enjoy more. It was I can't keep up on the cars and actually go use them for the things I want to do, right? Racing season's been going on for almost 2 solid months now. I haven't been to a single event, right? The cars haven't even moved out of the garage. So it's my opportunity cost is I'm spending so much time working on the cars and paying bills on the cars that I don't have enough time or money to go do actually enjoy them. And so I'd rather have less cars and enjoy them more and actually go to events than have more cars that just sit around doing nothing. So, what does that mean for you? How does it translate to you? Well, again, everybody's situation is different. You just have to sit down and really think about it. Am I enjoying this car? Am I using this car? Um, and it's not necessarily like just monetary or just financial, right? It's time. I think time was probably the biggest component of everything because I just don't have the time to take care of 4 cars, right? So and again, the number doesn't matter, the type of car doesn't matter. It's how much time are you dedicated to taking care of it? How much time are you dedicating to actually doing the adventures in it? And if all it's doing is sitting around and you're not actually going and doing the adventures or enjoying what you're doing, then it's time to let it go. And that's okay. It is okay to let it go. I took a loss in that car. I hardly ever take losses on cars, but it happens. No one's gonna win on all of them. And really, the good outshines the bad. And also, again, I at least got to enjoy that one. 500 miles on the Range Rover. That was 2 years of a whole lot of nothing on that. So at least being able to get enjoyment out of it, make some memories, have some cool photos, have some memories with friends and my kids and stuff like that. It was worth it, right? It was worth owning it. I was glad to have owned it. But like Marie Kondo, you say thank you and you let it go, right? That's what you're doing. You're acknowledging that it was really fun or enjoyable, or you were glad to have owned it or driven it, enjoyed it, but you don't necessarily need to anymore, and that's okay, right? Very few cars are sentimental. This one's sentimental because it was our honeymoon car. We drove it cross country. That one will never go. The other ones, they're just cars. They'll come, they'll go. They're fun when we have them, and then we move on to something else, and that's okay too. So, it's everybody's situation is personal. Everybody's situation is different. But the long and the short of it is, really look at your opportunity costs. Look at it. What are you giving up by having this? And if that equation no longer makes sense, then it's time to let it go. So that's kind of it for my thoughts on this. Again, for those of you that are long-term viewers that are wondering like what that means for the channel, no more overlanding things. Not that I've had a whole lot of it anyway. I've probably lost 100% of my truck viewers at this point anyway. And for that I apologize. But if you're into the sports cars and stuff, stick around. All those are staying. In fact, if anything, you'll probably actually start to see them now because I'm going to have more time and more resources to put forward into actually being able to go to events and do things. In fact, the first one's going to be in about a week and a half. The Portland Swap Meet is coming up, so we're going to go there with some friends and wander around the swap meet and see what kind of cool stuff we can find. There's usually 944 parts out there, so I'm definitely going to have my eye out for stuff for that. But yeah, we'll be doing that, and then going to go do some fun racing stuff. In fact, the S4 is signed up for our first track cross ever, which is an autocross on a road course. So it's like a cross between like a time attack flying lap and an autocross on a big course. I'm really excited about that. It's at ORP, Oregon Raceway Park, which I've never been to before. So yeah, gonna have super fun with that. That's the end of April with the S4, right? So already got a couple events coming up in the books now. And I'm looking forward to having the time to actually work on these cars and get them ready to go for those events. So stick around. There's actually content coming now. In fact, speaking of giving things up, I think it might be time to let go of the Boxster too. And we'll just have the 944 and the S4 for a while. Maybe we'll see. If you've got an opinion on that, throw it down in the comments below. But we're going to see what it's like just having the 3 for a while. And we'll go from there. So this has been the Plays with Cars YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.